No.
It's a fucking joke.
Where are they going to?
I don't know what. They say Grassy Park, but I don't believe it.
No, we keep going.
Hey?
Fadiel, do you know where you're going?
They say Grassy Park police, the nearest police station is right up the road, but I don't believe them.
We do also have a number of the National Coloured Congress supporters outside of the parliamentary village. At this moment, he says he's unaware which police station he will be going to, but he does suspect that they will be taking him to the Grassy Park police station, which is not too far from the parliamentary village here. Traffic has been backlogged a little bit. This also falls at the backdrop of that press briefing that he had this past weekend addressing the alleged raid at his house, or a house that he used to own. So this is what's currently playing out. The visuals that we're showing you now is just Fadiel Adams inside. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Can you come a little bit closer?
May I? No, I've actually got nothing to add. I've said all I want to say. All my evidence is before the courts. The other evidence is the lawyers. Okay? Like I said, this is the last kick of a dying horse. They need to bring the game.
Take us back to that statement you made to Parliament regarding your visit to the prison.
I told Parliament that Nhlanhla was killed with an AK-47 purchased with the proceeds of crime intelligence. This is a confirmed fact. The head of crime intelligence is Dumisani Kumalo. The person leading this investigation right here is Dumisani Kumalo. The person who signed off for the funds for this operation is Dumisani Kumalo. Dumisani Kumalo is in court on cases on charges of fraud and corruption because of charges I laid. Can you connect those dots? They are arresting me over something they say I did a year ago. But I informed them of it a year ago. There was no secret. Why now? Dumisani Kumalo, are you getting a little bit worried over that? I think you should. Guys, I'm about to be assaulted. I'm probably going to get waterboarded. This is how it works. I'm telling you what's going to happen. But let them do their worst.
How do you feel now being arrested by your... I know you said previously in your younger years you did face...
I probably needed a holiday anyway. Sure.
This is a story that escalated fast. Just days after claiming police were targeting him, Fadiel Adams has now been arrested. But the big question is, was this always coming? The leader of the National Coloured Congress and Member of Parliament has officially been taken into custody on the 5th May 2026, according to reports. This comes after days of tension, accusations, and dramatic claims involving the police.
They're refusing.
Well, Stephen, we are still in the parliamentary village. Fadiel Adams there being accompanied by police officers in plain clothing. Earlier on, he was requesting to see the warrant of arrest. I don't know if he's able to speak to us, Fadiel? Are you able to speak to us?
Yes, I can.
Talk to us about how you're feeling. I mean, hours ago, we received a statement from SAPS. We're now here, you being escorted out of your home.
Look, I told you a few minutes ago that I was going to hand myself over. I just wanted to be at court tomorrow. So I don't know how I get to court tomorrow if I'm under arrest, but I'm understanding that I need to be kept out of court because things must be buried. You understand how it goes? This is the desperation on behalf of the people that are being prosecuted because of the charges I laid. This is it. So what happens here is I need to be kept out of court at all costs. This must happen.
Fadiel, can we confirm that you have now been officially arrested? Have you been arrested?
I've now been arrested. I'm now going to be protested. So Burton, calm down. It's okay. Calm down. Mr. Burton, their faces are here. It's fine.
Let's just hear from Fadiel again. Can you repeat that for us?
I've now been arrested. I'm about to be processed.
Do we know the unit that has arrested you?
They will not confirm if they are PKTT. But, you know, I understand because I wouldn't want to be PKTT right now either.
And the charges that you're currently facing, have they confirmed those?
They've shown me the warrant. I'm not even sure if the charges are on there. But what I can tell you is that they're not supposed to be here. They are trespassing right now. So look, like we say, there's a process. Charges will be laid, more charges will be laid, more charges will be laid.
Just days ago, Adams was sounding the alarm. He claimed that a special police unit has raided a house linked to him. But here's a twist. It wasn't even his home anymore. He claimed armed officers stormed the property looking for him, with no clear warrant shown, leaving a family traumatized. Adams even went further. He accused police of intimidation and even suggested they were trying to kidnap him. At the time, he insisted, "If there's a warrant, I will hand myself over."
The Cape Town home of National Coloured Congress founder and Member of Parliament Fadiel Adams has reportedly been raided. He filed an intimidation charge against the South African Police Service and is now awaiting a case number. For the latest on this raid, we are now joined by Police Portfolio Committee member and MP Fadiel Adams, and he joins us now via our video link. Mr. Adams, thank you so much for your time this evening here in SABC News. And let's start off here. Is it clear why your home was raided today?
Hi, buddy. Look, it's obvious. I mean, I'm the person that laid the charges that got General Dumisani Khumalo, General Lushaba, and General Madondo arrested. I'm the only member of Parliament who's actively stood up in Parliament, outside of Parliament, in the ad hoc committee, who has insisted that General Masemola, National Commissioner Masemola, has a case to answer for, that he must be arrested and suspended. On Thursday, I asked of the police commissioner to explain to us why General Khumalo had not been suspended yet, because it's clear that there's something amiss according to the protocols. I'm the person that laid 2 charges of criminality against General Mkhwanazi. It is obvious why this raid happened. But what is perturbing about the raid is that the South African Police Service has parked their vehicles 100 meters away around the corner because they didn't want people to take their registrations. That they covered their faces in balaclavas like the thugs that they are, that they removed their identification badges, that they refused to produce a warrant. In my view, if successful last night, this wasn't a raid, this was an abduction. This is how certain units within the SAPS operate. This is how certain criminal generals use our state resources against us. But South Africa must wake up, because this is about our civil liberty. My home, your home, none of us are safe from these crooks.
And we also understand that you've since opened a case of intimidation. Were you specific to who exactly this case has been opened against?
Look, I think we all know who we're talking about. We know who heads the PKT team. We know who's now been given national power to investigate or terrorize. But I've laid an open-ended case. I opened the case against the SAPS. I'm referring the case to the IDAC, and they must draw their own conclusions, and the NPA must act swiftly.
And have you reached out to the police in that regard in terms of why this raid was conducted in your home?
You know, the weirdest thing about the South African Police Service is the lack of accountability. Even within portfolio, these people are allowed to dodge and lie. But what I can tell you is that we knew this thing was coming. So we sent an email to the acting minister about 3 weeks ago. And we said to him, the email is very clear. Honorable Adams is willing to comply. If there's a warrant, he's willing to hand himself over to the nearest police station. There was no need for this drama. Masemola knew about the email. Mkhwanazi knew about the email. There was no need to send 15 goons with rifles into a house, to point rifles at a woman, to smack a 12-year-old child. They could have simply picked up the phone, and I've given them an undertaking in writing that I'm willing to comply. So this begs the question, what is the reason for this? Is it because the arrests that have happened? Is it because the National Commissioner is now facing his day in court for alleged conniving with Pussycat Nhlanhla? Is it because Mkhwanazi's day may be coming itself? Is it because they aim to intimidate me? Are they planning to kill me? But I've got a message for these generals. I'm not afraid. Not afraid of the cells. Not afraid of your thugs. Do what you need to do. This struggle, it doesn't stop.
And Mr. Adams, I mean, this also pertains to what is before the Nhlanhla Commission. Will you be reaching out to the Nhlanhla Commission to come and also lay some of these grievances?
I'll be emailing Nhlanhla on Monday morning. I think it's overdue. I should be appearing there. I should be making my submission, seeing as I'm just about the only person that speaks with any insight into what actually happened. The problem here is that Nhlanhla and the ad hoc committee have the findings of the IG. The Inspector General of Intelligence has made findings against these generals. And these are not rumors. These are findings by a Chapter 9 institution. The funny thing is that when he makes findings against these generals, the Inspector General gets suspended without charge. The man has been kicking his heels at home for about 6 months now. His name has been tarnished. Why? Because he did his job. You see, a message is being sent here to anybody serious about fighting corruption in this country. You do your job and we'll deal with you.
All right.
But they must deal.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Adams. Of course, that is Fadiel Adams there, member of the Police Portfolio Committee in Parliament, saying that he will be writing to the Nhlanhla Commission, of course, a number of matters he's raising, and also raising a number of issues in regards to the suspended National Police Commissioner, also the KZN Police Commissioner, saying that he is ready to speak out and he wants to go and be questioned by the Nhlanhla Commission.
My name is Fadiel Adams. I'm a member of Parliament. I serve on the police portfolio where we attempt to hold the South African police accountable. Accountability does not exist within the South African police services. These people are law upon themselves. On Saturday morning at 4 a.m., my previous residence was raided by the PKTT. I no longer live there. With a budget of hundreds of millions of rands a year, this corrupt unit can't even get an address right. The result of this, an innocent teacher, a 30-year-old female, had rifles pointed in her face. Her husband was made to lay on the ground in the middle of winter. A 12-year-old son was assaulted by something that claims to be a police officer. Who assaults a 12-year-old child? Physically. Because he woke up startled. This happened. A case was laid. I then went to the police station and laid a case of intimidation against the South African police services. I do believe that this raid is engineered by Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, the self-proclaimed savior of the South African police services. The weakest form of police commissioner this country has had in 30 years. The coward from KZN who ran away when the country needed him. And I'll tell you why. In the ad hoc committee, he claimed that I used a blue light escort to the prison in Westville. I was indeed escorted by Metro Police, not the South African Police Services, to the Westville prison, while on my official duty. Because I went to Westville prison to interview the killer of one of our finest, Sendiso Mkhaka. I think this country's forgotten about him. He was killed for exposing corruption in Durban. The killer has given me a written statement saying that he was escorted to the crime and from the scene by the South African Police Services. The killer wants to tell the truth. He wants nothing in exchange. Not a reduction of sentence, not a financial reward. Mkhwanazi hasn't sent a single policeman to go and hear this man's story. Not one. What Mkhwanazi has done, he's insinuated to Parliament that I've committed a crime. In the ad hoc committee, Mkhwanazi has said that there will be a conference call later where we will hear something about Adams. What you were supposed to hear was that Adams had contrived or corrupted or abused his power, whatever power he thinks I have, to obtain a blue light escort. The person implicated, the person who was supposed to make the statement, is Detective Sergeant Carlton Thomas, who has laid a charge against Mkhwanazi and Major General Gopal, because he claims that they forced him into a room where the cameras were set up and had written a script that he was supposed to incriminate me in front of the ad hoc. He refused. Therefore, that conference call never happened.
Authorities confirmed there was a warrant of arrest, and shortly after, Adams was taken into custody. So now the narrative shifts. Was he avoiding arrest or exposing something bigger?
They are refusing to give us a copy of the warrant. I need a copy of the warrant. No, but we asked for a copy. We asked for a copy.
He is working with them and
no, we need to speak to my attorney. With him. My attorney is waiting on it. Our attorney is waiting on it. Our attorney is waiting on it. I need a copy of it.
No, I'm going to give you the copy.
Where? I'm going to give it
now.
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 I'm giving it now. But the attorney is waiting.
No, they do have the copy. Yes.
Adams is accused of interfering in the investigation into the matter of Sindiso Magaqa. He allegedly contacted or interfered with the convicted hitman during a critical stage of the case. Authorities also accuse him of fraud and defeating or obstructing the course of justice.
So in relation to the charges against Mr. Fadiel Adams, we are aware that he visited numerous times the hitman of Mr. Sindiso Magaqa at a very sensitive stage of the investigation. So the question is, in what capacity was he visiting that particular hitman, knowing very well that the political killings task team is still investigating the matter? There are still other outstanding suspects. So at this stage, we do believe that his visit and him taking down statements and of the hitman, it was part of interfering in the administration of justice, knowing very well that there is an investigation. And first and foremost, Mr. Fadiel Adams is a member of parliament. He is not an investigator. For example, myself, Nhlanhla, as a spokesperson, I cannot now go and visit an awaiting trial prisoner or even a convicted.
Just indicate covering mass light. So Mr. Adams appeared to have came into the position of an intelligence information. And this information is classified on its nature that Mr. Adams should not be in possession of. So it is an information that is intended for another structure of parliament. If it comes to his position and as a lawmaker, as a person who is serving in parliament, he ought to know that when I'm in possession of information from crime intelligence that is classified, it must be handed over to the Joint Standing Committee of Intelligence so that it can be interrogated, regardless of the status of that information.
Honorable Adams, you already came to testify in front of the ad hoc. General Mkhwanazi is back here today, and a lot was said, and looks like you have things that you also want to say and get out there.
It's a real pity I wasn't on that committee, because I would have buried this man. I think he knows it. But I mean, if we're going to get personal, we must get personal. I agree with Mkhwanazi. Education is important. I've never hid the fact that I'm a high school dropout. Never. But he should have said education was important when a man who didn't finish primary school made him national commissioner. That was Jacob Zuma. You know, he's very selective in his thinking, man. You can't trust anything Adam says because he retracted a statement. He walked in here and retracted a statement. He tried to retract the statement on WhatsApp. This man is so... You know, there's so many holes in his story. It's a good thing this is in a court of law. He'd have been locked up by now. And then the other thing is that when we were raising the issue of Bonginkosi Dlamini, the police officer who's been locked up, the one that was investigating the death of Sindiso Magaqa, what was his response? You can't trust a man in prison. What does he bring as evidence today? A statement from a man in prison. This bruh is so, he's a walking contradiction, and he's a coward. Now he's got me with a whole long sob story. Oh, my wife was pregnant with the uprising. Who cares? People were dying out there. My wife would have been upset for 3 weeks. I would have been in the streets. You know, when KZN was burning, we packed a trailer here in Cape Town. We drove 2 tons of food to KZN, threw the bodies on the road, through the threats. You know, SAPS made us unload that trailer because they were checking for stolen goods. We were on the scene. It's not even our province. He's a coward. I say it to his face. Oh, he says we should get a room. I've only got one arm at the moment. If he's ready, I'm ready.
And lastly, just of course, this is kind of a heavy problem. You sit on a portfolio of police. You get to work a lot with Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, and many people out there. You, in your own rights, the both of you have people that see you as heroes. Why is it so important that you get your message across and you're not backing down at someone that is so scared to take on someone and stand up for what is right?
Look, we've definitely got different priorities. They want to keep entertaining the PKTT at 100 million a year, but the AGU must deal with 7 million rand a year. And the AGU is dealing literally with 2,000 times the bodies. We are saying prioritize colored lives, man. We're chasing down, what is it? 13 murders, 20 murders, 1 murder per year. All of them in KZN, all of them black. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What are we doing beating 3,000 colored children a year? And they're telling us to make do with sense. This is my fight with Mkhwanazi. And if he wants to fight, General, I'm not even going to call you General. You don't have a security clearance. Mkhwanazi, bring it. I'm not going anywhere. I came here to fight. I came here to fight for the colored child. I came here to fight for the Cape Flats. That narrative doesn't change. You can insult, but you're out to your death. You know, let me tell you something. The biggest mistake Jacob Zuma ever made was giving this man relevance. Now, like you said, education is important. Zuma didn't have a primary school diploma. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member.
What do you think? Is this justice or something deeper? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe because this story is far from over. See you on the next one. Bye.